Imagine planning the most important day of your life, only for your parents to demand your spoiled sister walk down the aisle in a wedding dress before you. Sounds insane, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to today's storyteller. And let me tell you, the revenge that followed was nothing short of delicious. If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to someone who tried to steal your spotlight, smash that like button, subscribe, and settle in, because this is one of the most jaw-dropping wedding revenge stories you'll ever hear. Growing up, the bride in our story was always treated as second best. Her sister could do no wrong. If her sister wanted a certain birthday cake flavor, that's what she got. If the storyteller complained, she was punished. Even when undeniable proof showed the sister was lying, her parents bent reality to protect their golden child. It wasn't just favoritism, it was emotional warfare. Every achievement the storyteller earned was ignored, while her sister's smallest victories were celebrated like Olympic gold medals. Over time, her sister grew entitled, manipulative, and viciously jealous. And the parents? They enabled every ounce of it. As teenagers, the cruelty escalated. Whenever the storyteller had a boyfriend, her sister would shamelessly flirt with him, then flip the story and accuse him of coming on to her. And guess who the parents believed? Not their honest daughter, but their conniving golden child. The result? Broken relationships, isolation, and the cruel label of being untrustworthy. The sister always came out looking pure and perfect, while the narrator was painted as reckless and immature. It got so bad that when college rolled around, her parents declared they couldn't afford her tuition because they were already paying for her sister. But instead of falling apart, she quietly earned herself a full scholarship, her escape hatch from the toxic family dynamic. For the first time, she tasted freedom. Years later, things began to change. She met a man who wasn't just loving. He was sharp, fearless, and absolutely allergic to her family's manipulations. Where she had always been meek, he was bold. When they got engaged, they agreed on something simple. A modest wedding, nothing flashy. But her family? They saw an opportunity, and what they proposed was beyond insulting. When her fiancé met with the parents, he secretly carried a recorder in his pocket, just in case. What he captured was worse than anything he expected. The parents demanded that the sister, the golden child, be allowed to walk down the aisle first. Not as a bridesmaid, not even as a symbolic gesture, but fully dressed in a white wedding gown before the actual bride. Their excuse? It's not right for a younger sister to marry before the elder. They even insisted on photos, a cake, the full treatment, as if it were her day. Most people would have stormed out in rage. But the groom? He played it cool. He pretended to consider it, knowing full well he had just been handed the perfect weapon, their arrogance. Instead of confronting them, the couple leaned into the deception. The fiancé told the parents that his bride was too controlling to know about the plan. So everything had to be handled in person, never in writing. They fell for it completely. From then on, every wedding detail became a scam. If the couple wanted simple flowers, he'd show the sister and act disappointed. She would demand the expensive arrangement, and the parents paid. When it came to catering, photography, decor, the same trick played out. Bit by bit, the parents bankrolled a lavish wedding far beyond what the couple ever planned, all while believing they were secretly planning the sister's grand entrance. Fast forward to the wedding day. Guests were seated. The music began. The parents, confident in their scheme, waited for their eldest daughter to make her dramatic entrance. But when the doors opened, it was the real bride walking down the aisle. The father's face twisted in panic. He rushed out to call his other daughter, who was waiting outside in a white gown of her own. But at the gate stood a towering security guard, instructed with one job: do not let her in.
"You must have the wrong venue," he told her calmly. "There's already a bride inside."
The sister screamed, cried, and even threw herself onto the ground, kicking like a toddler denied candy. The parents tried to muscle past the guard, threatening police, but without any proof of their so-called agreement, they had no leverage. All the while, whispers spread inside the hall. Guests were confused, then horrified, then furious. Not at the bride, but at her parents and sister. Outside, the scene was chaos. The sister shrieked in her torn-up gown, her makeup streaking as she sobbed. The parents yelled, begged, then blamed the groom, accusing him of plotting with them. But he played his role to perfection.
Why on earth would I agree to something so ridiculous? Show me proof. Where are the texts? The emails?
Of course, they had nothing, because they'd been tricked into keeping everything verbal. Inside, the bride stood radiant, supported by her husband's family, walking down the aisle to applause and whispers of admiration. For once in her life, the spotlight was hers, and no one could take it away. By the end of the night, her parents and sister had been dragged out in shame, left to stew in the humiliation they so richly deserved. In the end, karma didn't just arrive. It showed up in heels, walked down the aisle, and danced all night at the reception. Years of favoritism, manipulation, and cruelty crumbled in a single day, leaving the bride free to start her new life with the family she chose, her husband's. If that revenge gave you chills, hit the like button and tell us in the comments, what's the most outrageous wedding drama you've ever seen?